Alright, GM and welcome. It's been a while. I dropped a trading content on this page, so I thought of just dropping something for you guys real quick. So GM, okay, so let's look at this chart. Let's look at this chart real quick. So as you can see, this market is trending to the upside, but then the trend line that has been holding it has broken to the downside. It's looking like a retest, or you can choose to call it a pullback to it, and then there's a possibility of it now trending back to the downside. Like there's a possibility of a change in trend here, which like a break below, pullback, and then a continuation to the downside is like an expectation from here if this continues. Now, which means you should now go to the daily, the lower time frame, since this is the monthly time frame, to go and get your entry for potential sales. This is the card JPY. Okay, so this is the card JPY, a potential sale here. Now, this is what I am going to be telling myself. In as much as this is looking real good and you can be able to get the trade. Okay, let's go to the lower time frame first, so I can show you something. I'm still going to come here. Okay, so let me go to daily time frame. So let's just jump to daily time frame direct. Now that I've jumped to daily time frame, this is looking real good here. It's just like it's just for me to wait for another break below here, a pullback to it, and then a continuation. Then I can be able to get a sell here, which makes sense, at least from the projection we've been able to see from the monthly time frame, which is the same, which is looking like a potential sales want to start to happen. But now this is what I am going to be telling myself here. I'm going to tell myself otherwise, and then I am going to tell myself that instead of selling from here, instead of selling from this particular place, I'm going to be waiting for this major zone, this blue bar, this one that looks like the national grid here, or this major turning point. I'm going to wait for it to come and for the market to come and break below it, however long it takes. I'm going to wait for the market to come and break below it. It is when I now see a break below it, a pullback to it, and then a continuation before I will now start to sell, if this market wants to sell. But if it wants to continue to buy, that means I want to see it clear every of this line or every of this obstruction that is holding it to the downside. I want to see it clear everything. Then it is then I will now start to think in my mind, okay, this trend wants to continue to the upside. That means the sales are not going to be able to hold the market to the downside here now. So what I'm going to be saying to myself is, since all these lines, all these things now, I'm going to have to trash them, because I want to be much more conservative and be able to have consistent profitability in my trades. I'm going to be trashing all these lines. Like basically what I'm just trying to say to myself is, these lines here, all these three lines that I've been able to bring out on the daily time frame, that I've been able to draw out, and I've been able to see that if I wait for a break below it and then a pullback and then a continuation, I should be able to get a sell, which I have now come to the monthly time frame again. I have now seen that, okay, let me be much more conservative. Let me hold on to my capital and then enter something that is going to be even more solid than that. Even more solid than that. The focus you should have as a trader is you want to enter only solid trade here. So basically what I'm trying to just say to myself is, all these lines, all these ones that you're seeing here, is what I would basically like to call, thou shalt not tempt the Lord your God. So that's the name I'm going to give to all these lines. So it means I'm going to remove it. I'm going to delete all these lines. Now, thou shalt not tempt the Lord your God be the name of all those lines. I will just remove it and then hold on to my capital until I'm able to get something that is even more solid than all this, which is a break below these ones. These ones that is looking like the national grid or the chart, all these major zones, all these blue lines. I want to wait for a break below it, a pullback, and then a continuation. So I'm going to be deleting all this. I'm going to be deleting all this. Now that I have a clean chart back again and I've deleted them, I can now be able to say to myself that, okay, it is a break below here, a pullback, and then a continuation that will now start to sell it from, because this trend is still looking very, very good and it can decide to continue. Now, here is the major reason why I'm doing this particular video. All those ones I've explained is so that you can be able to have an idea of that the trade it is that you should be picking should be quality setups only. You should only be picking quality setups only. Now, this is the major reason why I'm doing this here. There is this app called Google Drive here. And one of the advantage it has, one of the things you can be able to use it for, apart from you locating a place you've not been to before, for you locating the way you can be able to pass in order for you to get to where you've not been to before, is that you can be able to see if there's going to be if there's going to be traffic on your way while you're trying to go there, so as to know if you should go through another route and you can be able to avoid the traffic. Now let's say you're an Uber driver. Let's say you're an Uber driver here, and you want to go to a particular place. Maybe you've been able to pick your drop, and you want to go to another place here, and you have that Google Drive with you, which means you can be able to like know a route to follow. You can be able to determine a route to follow, so you don't go into traffic, and you can be able to prevent your money. So like, you want to prevent your money here, and that means you want to have consistent profitability by spending less and be able to gain more. You want to spend less and be able to gain more, so you are using that Google Drive, and it's been working for you, which is your edge, which is you being able to like get a quality trade. You are able to know that, okay, if I'm doing this, I'm going to be getting profitability. But then if you ask every Uber driver who has been doing something like this, believing they do stuff like that here, if you ask every Uber driver who has been doing something like this, for example, they're going to tell you that 1, 2, 3 or 4 times here, there are sometimes when, even when they have used that particular Google Drive, there's still a point where they maybe start following the route it is that they've been able to determine to follow, and then something happened, maybe an accident on the road or something it is that they were unable to foresee happened, and then a traffic eventually showed up in that very place that they were trying to that they already predetermined to follow, and like there was traffic in that other place they neglected to, or maybe there is no longer traffic there, but somehow the major focus now is that that particular route they were trying to follow at that particular point in time, traffic eventually showed up there, and they were unable to get to their destination on time. Now this is something I'm going to liken to the things that also happens in market. There's such a thing as weekend trading. Because the market closes on weekend does not mean FX market, for example, because the FX market or the stock market closes on weekend does not mean there's no transaction. Does not mean there's no forex transactions happening on the weekend. They are offline FX transactions. They are online FX transactions. The speculations that you and I are doing on our chart is the online trading and everything. There is an offline one which is happening with all this Bureau de change. If you're a Nigerian, you would have been able to get that on time and everything. Where you get to an airport, for example, and you have to exchange your money and everything. Those ones are also FX, and they also affect the things that are also happening on the chart if their volume becomes very, very big. If their volume becomes very, very big, now you cannot be able to know what exactly is going to happen in the weekend. And that is why sometimes when the market opens, you see that the market opens with gap and everything like that. Another thing it is that you cannot be able to foresee is, for example, maybe a policy was just implemented into law. It was just signed by the Senate member of a particular country and everything like that, and then it starts to affect the economy. Look at the name. This is Canadian dollar, Japanese yen. You are trading based on the speculation you're making in the economy of different countries. You're trading based on the speculation you're making on them. So you can't be able to tell exactly what it is that they are going to do. However, what you want to do is that you want to stick to your edge, which is you using your Google Drive to be able to know that, okay, if I follow this route now, I'm going to be able to get profitability. However, I'm going to now manage my risk. Should in case something it is that I cannot be able to foresee happens eventually. Something I cannot be able to foresee, should in case it happens eventually, I'm going to do what? I'm going to manage my risk. So now, the major point of this video is you, number one, focusing on quality trading this week. The market has opened again. Probably you don't jump in that trade. I mean, maybe you never even jump in that trade. But focus on a quality trade this week. If you have not jumped into a trade and you have a good amount of capital in your account, or regardless of maybe it's be a good big capital or not, preserve what it is that you have and wait until you have a good or quality or solid trade, whichever one it is you choose to call it. And then when you now have a solid trade, which means you've been able to know the route it is to follow to be able to get to where you're going on time, you still want to manage your risk, which the Uber driver cannot be able to do, because like they cannot be able to like manage their risk. Most of like one advantage that we traders have is that we can be able to predetermine what it like our own risk, even though we cannot be able to determine the exact thing that is going to happen in every trade. We can be able to predetermine how much it is that we push into that particular trade to check if it's going to work or if it's not going to work. So now, enter a quality trade this week. If you like, no, yeah, enter a quality trade this week and also manage your risk. Those are the things you can control. Enter a quality trade. Let me add one more thing for you. Enter a quality trade that has a good risk to reward. Then manage your risk. Those are the things you can control. Those are the things you can control. Focus on them. If you're focusing on these three things, you're going to become profitable and consistently. Enter a good trade that you know that yes, this is a quality trade that has a good risk to reward. Manage your risk on it and hold it. Yeah, now I remain Exodus and I know for sure that this is going to help you. So find a way to get disciplined and follow it. Au revoir. Follow me so that you can be able to get more update on my videos. Like this, share it, and you can hit my YouTube link in my bio so you can be able to watch some of my trading videos. And also below every of my trading videos, you're going to be able to see the link to my free community there. You can join my free community if you want to learn, take it a step further by learning how to trade for yourself and everything it is that you know about the financial market. You can message me from the free community and then you sign up to Exodus Institute, the actual institute, and then you learn how to do things for yourself. You learn about everything capital market, everything concerning financial market. It's not just about FX. You learn about the crypto market, FX market, stock market, commodity, and everything it is that you want to learn. So that's it for this video. See you guys in the next. My next video is going to be, I don't really know the title yet, but there are many different content ideas on my mind. But you guys are going to get to see my face again in my next video. So believing you've been able to get one or two, I'll just leave you here with this. Au revoir. Bye bye.